of the 2024 set orientation program, which took place for the new intake of the college, held at the Esut Auditorium, Parkland, Enugu. While acknowledging that state governments has put modalities in place to discourage health practitioners from traveling abroad for greener pastures, Dr. Jaye said the aim of the orientation was to equip the students to be positive thinkers with improved self-esteem. On her part, the acting provost of the college, Dr. Mrs. Peace Annie, who stated that the students would be awarded both national and higher national diploma certificates in nursing after their 4 years of studying in the college, noted that with the establishment of an international hospital in the state, the students will take advantage for their clinical practice. We'll take a short break now. We'll be right back.
You've often wondered, what does it mean to be Igbo in today's Nigeria? You know, what's the intersections? What are the conversations we're having about our Igbo spirituality, culture? An example is people wearing red cap. You know, everybody wears red cap. Are they entitled to wear it? What does Nzenozo mean? What does Igbo spirituality mean? How have we changed as a society over the last 20, 30, 50, 100 years? Every Thursday, 6 p.m., if you want to know more on libations, as I have a conversation with different people from all walks of life whose common thread is being Igbo, or doing business with the Igbo, or living in Igbo land. What does it mean to be Igbo in today's Nigeria? Cheers. And, I need to do this. Let me pour to our ancestors.
Week and another opportunity for us to gist and me to tell you, bring all the spice, all the things that are hot, trending and exclusive on social media. Sometimes I know there's constructive criticism. I know that you know how to quote it. So for the people that don't understand, I want to be like, oh, why are you doing this?
Please, I'm not a cross-dresser. I'm only doing this because of the money on Facebook.
There are some people you need to just tell the truth brutally. Let it hurt them. Give it hot.
Afia TV official, exclusive every weekday on Afia TV.
Assalamu alaikum jama'a, sunana mai martaba sarki Abubakar Yusuf Sambo. Ina kallon Afia TV kuma ina jaddada ma jama'an mu su dinga kallon Afia TV. Allah ya taimake su a aikin da suke na kyau. Inda ba yake ne mu no Afambo His Royal Highness Sarki Abubakar Yusuf Sambo an ma watch Afia TV na kwado kwandibu. Inda ba ni ne ka hana watch Afia TV. Afia TV na mo fima dalono.
Time check is 2 p.m. and it's time for us to vibe, chill, and relax. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Lunch Break on Afia TV. So Lunch Break is all about the music, it's all about fun, it's all about entertainment, it's all about entertaining gossip and stories from social, it's all about the latest trends, it's about what's lit, it's all about the games with our guests, and yes, in general, I like to say it's all about the vibes and vibes only.
You're welcome back to News Today here on Afia TV. We continue with our stories from Enugu End. A Chief Magistrate Court sitting in Enugu East Magisterial District has remanded one Mr. Anthony Onyekwu over the death of an 11-year-old houseboy, Goodluck John. According to the Commissioner for Children, Gender Affairs and Social Development, Enugu, Mrs. Ngozi Eni, Mr. Onyekwu, aged 47, was arrested following a tip-off from one of the ministry's whistleblower channels that Master Goodluck John's death was linked to abuse in the hands of the family where he lived with as a houseboy. Arraigning the suspect, the police prosecutor, Inspector Kalista Ifeanyi, told the presiding chief administrative magistrate that Mr. Onyekwu had committed an offense punishable under the Criminal Code, revised laws of Enugu State. The chief magistrate subsequently ordered the suspect's remand in the Correctional Center, Enugu, and adjourned the matter to 20th November 2024, when the report from the Director of Public Prosecutions, Ministry of Justice, Enugu, is expected. This, is the Enugu State government said, was in line with its sustained war against all forms of child abuse. In a celebration recently, the Obinago Development Union in Obago Konano, Enugu South local government area of Enugu State, held a significant event marking the commissioning of various projects, the unveiling of a new community calendar, and the conferment of awards to distinguished community members. The ceremony began with the introduction of esteemed guests, and the chairman of the union presented various gifts, which was ceremonially broken, that is the kola nut, ceremonially broken by Igwe Mike Nuku, the royal father of the day. And in his welcome address, Onwa Friday Namani expressed his enthusiasm for the completed projects and ongoing developments in the community. Pastor Ndubeze Namani, also the chairman of the union, thanked attendees for their presence and acknowledged the support from the Enugu State government, especially for the establishment of hospitals in Obinago. He emphasized the community's pressing need for primary and secondary schools, as well as improved road infrastructure to enhance transportation of goods and services. The event featured the unveiling of community calendar by Pastor Chimaobi Aniwene, followed by generous donations from notable sons of Obago. The chairman of the Enugu South local government, Caleb Ani, also delivered remarks highlighting the importance of the community involvement in development.
I feel very proud, especially to come from here and to be representing these people. You know, most times people keep looking for what the government will do for them, but this is an exemplary community. You know, recently, Enugu State government trained experiential teachers. That is, teachers that will teach with experience. And this is what we are looking for, examples, setting the pace. I am very, very delighted. I only noticed one thing, which I would have loved to speak to them about, but I know I'm going to say that. We are clamoring for inclusion, women inclusion, and you could see that the lineup of the executive didn't have any woman representative inside. So the only thing I would want corrected or an input I would want to be made is that they should find a way to include women in their executive so that it will be better than what they already have.
Pastor Ndubeze Aniwene voiced his satisfaction with the event and urged government intervention to address road issues in the community.
I feel excited, I feel impressed that we are seeing a leadership that is working. In fact, I would say, I want to link it to the executive governor of Enugu State because he's a Wakabenia. And ever since he became the governor, almost all the leaders, both in at the village level, they are trying to deliver and do one or two things. So I am highly impressed, I must confess, highly impressed by what I'm seeing. I saw a leader that is willing to serve his people. When I was driving into this town, I discovered that they have dilapidated roads. This is a small town, but they need access road. They are like a forgotten group of people. So I believe that the governor and the leadership that is involved should get into work, helping them have an access road. You know, when you have food and you don't have road, that food will be crippled. So I believe that if they have a good access road, it will help them annex every opportunity they have to not just be a blessing to themselves, but be a blessing to the state as well.
On his part, Igwe Mike Nuku echoed his sentiments advocating for peace and encouraging government support.
I feel great. The ceremony is good. It's a good one and it's encouraging. It's such an occasion and a celebration worthy of emulation. And I advise, like when I break the kola, other villages like Obunagu to emulate the good deed of Obunagu. Not just the developmental projects, but the peace that has come to stay. That is paramount. Because I told them, where there's no peace, there's no progress. But then, where there is peace, there's always progress. Because they started well, we want the government to also help out. They have put the water, they have put the light. The government also encourage them.
The Enugu South Local Government Chairman, Caleb Ani, described the event as a model for others to emulate and pledged to foster peace among neighboring communities.
What I saw today in the Obunagu community is something that is worthy of emulation from other community leaders. Harnessment of common resources to build a better plan for the community. So I'm so much happy because of what I saw today. The unveiling of their projects is something that is commendable. When we talk about governance, we are there for everybody. We are there for everybody who believe that here is part of the praise that I'm taking charge of. So because of that, I think one of the challenges that they are having here is the issue of peace. You understand? So we are going to do everything humanly possible to ensure that there is peace here. To make sure that the warring factions, they come together so that they can team. Where there is no peace, there is no progress, there is no success. You understand? So as regards to our government, when we begin to marshal out our plans, I think there will be part of what we are doing.
Pastor Kingsley Ndubueze Nmani, chairman of the Obunagu Development Union, expressed his happiness over the developments and reiterated calls for government support in constructing primary and secondary schools and improved roads.
I'm very, very happy. I'm very, very grateful that it has ended in praise. It went successfully, and I'm most grateful to God. My expectation from our able Excellency, Dr. Peter Mbah, is a working governor, and I know that he has the intention to affect every nook and cranny of Enugu State. So my expectation from me is to help us. We have primary and secondary school here, where we are able to buy properties, lands, where primary school can be built and secondary school. We are started with building us health center, which is about to be completed. So I am begging him to continue to do more by remembering us to tar the roads for us, fix primary or nursery school. We don't have any school at all in this village. So we are beckoning on him to help us put all these things in place, and we'll be grateful to God.
The gathering not only highlighted the achievements of the Obunagu Development Union, but also reinforced the community's commitment to ongoing development and unity. Moving over now to Anambra State, where the government says it has initiated low-interest loans to support micro, small, and medium enterprises in the state. The State Commissioner for Industry, Trade and Investment, Christian Udechukwu, disclosed this while declaring open a one-day Anambra Small Business Summit with the theme, enhancing the growth of small business for job and wealth creation, held in Awka over the weekend. He said the initiative was in line with the present administration of Governor Charles Soludo's vision of making Anambra a prosperous homeland in Nigeria. Dr. Udechukwu explained that to access more than 10 million naira loan, the business owner had to register with the Corporate Affairs Commission, CAC, and also own assets. And still in the southeast region, a renewed hostility between Ogwo in Ishiagu community and their neighbors in Akeze, both in Ivo local government area of Ebonyi State, has reportedly claimed 2 lives. According to the report, Ishiagu and Akeze communities have been embroiled in decades of boundary disputes that have claimed hundreds of lives from both sides. Reacting to the latest incident, the local government chairman, Chief Emmanuel Aja, condemned the killing and vowed to unmask the perpetrators. Aja gave the assurance in a statement in Abakaliki on Sunday, vowing that the killers must be fished out and prosecuted. It's time for a short break here. When we return, we have stories from the national scene. Stay with us.
Welcome to Afia TV, your go-to channel for excellent news and incredible shows that keeps you IEI, that is, informed, entertained, and inspired. Need a break?
Ladies and germs, welcome to Lunch Break on Afia TV.
Join Choco to vibe and chill on Lunch Break at 2 p.m. for the latest trends in music and entertainment.
Not like I have big money.
Dive into the world of innovation and creativity with Rochelle on Anka.
It means art in English.
Where creative minds and groundbreaking ideas come to life. Tune in every weekday at 8 p.m. Do not miss Afia TV Official, your perfect dose of laughter, where they discuss what is currently trending on social media every day at 5:30 p.m. on Afia TV.
But in this economy, the savings will save you, man.
And that's not all. Stay tuned for more exciting shows on Afia TV. Catch us on DSTV channel 254 and GoTV channel 17.
Thanks for staying tuned. This is Afia News Today, and we're reaching you live from Enugu, Southeast Nigeria. My name is Alex Obodo. Now for stories from the national scene, Nigeria's First Lady, Oluremi Tinubu, has flagged off the distribution of 45,000 units of ULesson tablets, an educational tool for use by secondary school students in 9 states across the Niger Delta region of the country. She affirmed that the country must ensure inclusive, equitable, and quality education is given to citizens, especially children of school age, in line with the Sustainable Development Goals. Mrs. Tinubu stated these at the flag-off of the distribution of ULesson tablets to primary and secondary schools in the 9 states of the Niger Delta region in Nigeria. At the State House Conference Center, Abuja, at the weekend, she noted that digital lesson devices are revolutionizing education across the world, and Nigeria cannot afford to be left behind. Also speaking, the Managing Director of NDDC, Samuel Ubuku, outlined the significance of the initiative, saying it is a special project aimed at boosting education in the Niger Delta region. Meanwhile, the presidency says the estimated 5.4 trillion naira savings from subsidy removal in 2024 is directed towards infrastructure development and social intervention initiatives that will benefit all tiers of government and enhance Nigeria's quality of life. The Special Advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, Mr. Bayo Onanuga, made this known on Sunday in a statement titled "Time for Atiku Abubakar to End His Grand Illusions and Fantasies." Mr. Onanuga said it is expected of the former Vice President and presidential candidate of the PDP, Atiku Abubakar, to commend the Tinubu administration over revenue generation for the Federation. He noted that President Tinubu remains focused on leading Nigeria towards a prosperous future and addressing the nation's real challenges. Away from that now, the Nigeria Labour Congress has given state governments an ultimatum of December 1, 2024 to implement the new national minimum wage. In a communique released on Sunday following its National Executive Council meeting, the NLC highlighted the severe economic hardships across the country and called for an urgent review of policies it described as anti-people. The NLC contended that Nigerians were being exploited, with citizens enduring heightened sufferings and hunger due to government policies which keep pushing many into destitution. He directed state councils where the new minimum wage is not yet implemented to commence an indefinite strike starting December 1, 2024, in protest against the unaddressed labor issues. And lastly, on the national news, the technical committee reassessing the integrity of Alau Dam in Borno State and other dams nationwide will present its findings to President Bola Tinubu in December. The Minister of Water Resources and Sanitation, Professor Joseph Osev, made this known in an interview on Sunday. Professor Osev noted that the report will include detailed designs and recommendations for the overall reconstruction of the 38-year-old dam for future use. Recall that at the 17th Federal Executive Council meeting in Abuja on September 23, 2024, the federal government established a technical committee to reassess the integrity of Alau Dam in Borno State and other similar structures nationwide. To business news now, the Nigeria Deposit Insurance Corporation, NDIC, has commenced a national auction of landed properties and physical assets belonging to the defunct Heritage Bank. Director of Communication and Public Affairs at NDIC, Bashiru Nuhu, disclosed this in a statement on Monday. According to the statement, the sale extends to both the landed properties and chattels of Heritage Bank, with assets available for inspection before auction. Meanwhile, the NDIC, acting as the liquidator of the Heritage Bank, will oversee the sale across 36 locations from December 4th. Recall that on June 3rd, the Central Bank of Nigeria revoked the license of Heritage Bank over weak financial stability. In other news, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Honorable Tajuddin Abbas, has pledged the support of the National Assembly for ongoing reforms in the Nigeria power sector and has called for collaboration among all stakeholders to improve the reliability of the national power grid at the opening ceremony of the International Power Engineering Exhibition and Conference in Abuja. He further emphasized the need for the integration of renewable energy into the country's energy mix to improve efficiency and sufficiency. Similarly, the chairman of the Senate Committee on Power, Senator Einaya Baribe, lamented that the poor performance of the power sector has left about half of Nigeria's population without electricity, as he called for a collaborative effort to reform and revitalize the power sector. And still on business news, and outside Nigeria, the government of South Sudan and the Ethiopian Airlines have entered a partnership agreement to establish and manage a national carrier for South Sudan, which was agreed during a meeting between the South Sudan Minister of Transport, Madut Baya, and the Ethiopian Ambassador, Nabil Nadi, in Juba. Both countries revisited the 2023 Memorandum of Understanding during the meeting, outlining the terms of partnership, as the Ethiopian ambassador confirmed that the embassy will collaborate with the South Sudanese government to implement the partnership agreement both countries signed in 2023. Recall that since its cessation from Sudan in 2011, South Sudan has failed to acquire its national carrier due to the country's political instability fueled by the brutal civil war, where the country has since relied on the services of privately owned airlines for aviation transport in the country. It's time for another break. When we return, we'll have stories from the international scene and the world of sports. Stay with us.
Good evening to you, viewer, and welcome to Women in Business, the show that profiles women, executives, and even the next door store owner, showcasing Igbo greatness to the world?
I started always obsessed with books ever since I was a child.
The stress of always converting naira to dollar and
an incompetent means an incompetent person.
What are your thoughts on the spate of sex for grades in Nigerian universities?
This very issue of owing salary should be criminalized.
How can they amplify their voices?
People don't have evidence.
You want to get to know about it? Have to stay tuned right here on Afia Morning Show to get the pulse and the feel of that.
Join us on Gyno Plus every Wednesday at 6 p.m. right here on Afia TV, DSTV channel 254, and GoTV channel 17, where we will delve into health issues affecting girls and women in society.
Breastfeeding doesn't even cause breastfeeding.
The frequency of breastfeeding means the
approach you take to make sure that your well-being is maintained.
Welcome back to News Today here on Afia TV. We are reaching you live from Enugu, Southeast Nigeria, to the international stories. Now, the annual UN Climate Summit kicked off Monday with countries readying for tough talks on finance and trade, following a year of weather disasters that have emboldened developing countries in their demands for climate cash. Speaking at the opening ceremony, the COP29 President-elect Mukhtar Babayev maintained that people are dying in the dark and need compassion more than prayers and paperwork. He further explained that COP29 is the unmissable moment to chart a new path forward for everyone. Babayev noted that the forum will test commitment to the multilateral climate system and everyone to demonstrate that they are prepared to meet the goals set for themselves. Meanwhile, according to a transitional presidential council draft resolution, Haiti will name entrepreneur and former Senate candidate Alex Didier Fils-Am to replace Prime Minister Gary Conille, who was tapped for the role in May. Didier Fils-Am is the son of well-known Haitian activist Alex Fils-Am, who was jailed under the regime of dictator Jean-Claude Baby-Doc Duvalier. Meanwhile, the shake-up is the latest blow to political stability in the country, which has been racked with the violence. Recall that the Transitional Council, named in April, was tasked with choosing a prime minister and wielding certain presidential powers until conditions are considered secure enough for a new election. And finally, on the international front, United States President-elect Donald Trump and German Chancellor Olaf Scholz have agreed to work for a return to peace in Europe in their first call since the U.S. election. Scholz spokesperson Stefan Haberstreit, in a statement on Sunday, said both exchanged views on the German-American relationship and the current geopolitical challenges. Haberstreit explained that the Chancellor underlined the government's willingness to continue the decades-long successful cooperation between the governments of both countries. And in the world of sports, the management of Rangers International Football Club have called on their supporters to remain calm concerning the unfortunate incident that occurred during their match against Plateau United in Jos. In a statement signed by the general manager Amobi Ezeaku, on Monday, he explained that a petition has been submitted to all relevant authorities. Ezeaku noted that under his administration, the club will go any length to preserve its honor and legacy by upholding the values and pride of Rangers. The manager, who assured everyone that the team members are safe and will arrive in Enugu today, also thanked supporters for their prayers. Meanwhile, the match day 11 matches in the ongoing 2024-2025 Nigeria Premier League football season produced top-notch performances as away teams overpowered their hosts. In faraway Katsina, debutants Ikorodu City FC earned a historic first away top-flight victory against Katsina United. Bayelsa United shocked Rivers United in the South-South Derby by a lone goal to inflict back-to-back losses to Finidi George-led side at the Adokia Masemeka Stadium in Port Harcourt. Shooting Stars Sports Club of Ibadan ended El Kanemi Warriors' unbeaten run with a comfortable 3-0 victory in Ibadan, while Lobby Stars outclassed Abia Warriors in a 3-1 win in Lafia. Emmanuel Amuneke extended his winning streak to 3 matches after a hard-fought 1-0 win over Sunshine Stars in Owerri, while Niger Tornadoes drowned Aqua United by a lone goal. The top-of-the-table clash in Aba between Eyimba FC and Remo Stars ended goalless, while 10-man Plateau United held visiting Rangers International to a stalemate in Jos. And lastly, in sports, Nigeria Women's Football League champions Edo Queens started their campaign in the CAF Women's Champions League on sound note with a comprehensive 3-0 win over CBE FC of Ethiopia. MMS put Edo Queens ahead earlier in the game to peg back the Ethiopian club, while Folashade Florence made it 2-0 for the Wafu B champions midway into the second half before Osigwe netted the third goal to give the Nigerian side a comfortable victory. Meanwhile, the win catapults Edo Queens to the top of the league due to a better goal difference. Next is our special report, which is on the continuous quest to monitor ongoing infrastructural developments in Enugu State. Afia TV visited the site of the proposed modern bus terminal in Gariki, Enugu, to assess the progress. Afia TV's chief correspondent, Natalie Oku, was given a tour of the site by the project manager, subcontracted by Planet Projects Limited, the contractor for the Gariki and Holy Ghost terminals. Here comes the report.
Building specifically is 80% complete. Timothy Chinedu, the project manager subcontracted by Planet Projects Limited, says. He, however, clarifies that other infrastructure within the site are still under construction, including the gas station, motel, and shops.
We started this project about 2-3 months ago, right? And then we made a lot of progress, which, as you can see, we started off, I think, around June, June, July, August. So, yeah. So right now, in fact, we are almost done with everything concerning the terminal building itself, right? Anything that you are expecting, any other thing you are expecting, are the ones that are still under the foundation level, right? Like the gas station, the motel, the shops, right? This one is completed almost, right? Remaining the finishing and finishes, all right? And this project, I must say, is a very big, critical one. It's big and it's critical. It's very, very critical. It's not just an ordinary structure. In fact, it's not just an ordinary project. I believe whomever that made the plan to bring out this for the people of Enugu, right, has a very great thing in mind for them. So, any job that I've passed the substructure level is 60% complete. So this is 80% complete.
He also shares challenges with the project since its inception months ago, which he limits to criticisms from people who are unhappy with the earlier demolitions.
Construction, whatever I've noticed is just the people who are talking, you understand? Because, you know, before we construct, we do take EIA, all right? There's environmental impact assessment of the area. So, because, you know, some people are being displaced and all that, most persons are not actually happy, that's just it. But then, while we are getting to this level, you know, you come outside, you see some, engineer, they are doing well, or they do well, or that's just it.
He proceeds to give us a tour of the terminal structure, explaining the facilities that will be developed on site.
There will be a portion for conversion of vehicles from petrol to CNG, right? But we are still deliberating whether it will be here or somewhere in Anamco, right? So Right here are the parking spaces from here down. The parking spaces for vehicles. This is the motel. Right? It's the motel. Because we know Enugu is on a hill pad somehow, but down here Gariki is somehow in the valley. You can look up there, you can see hills around. So we know the amount of water here, the amount of challenges we experience here. Make sure to do a kind of very good drainage system inside here, right? So we have a drain right here, which is fully complete already, right? That's the drain. Now this is the terminal building itself. In here, we have offices for bank. We have retail store, that's outlet stores. We have convenience. You know, we have convenience and then other stores inside. All right. Now this is the external toilets. That's the small building out there. And the external toilets, and then the powerhouse for the lights for electricity generation. And then here, where you're seeing columns only, this place is the loading bay, all right, for intercity, interstate, whatever movements, you know, that's just it. Over there we have lock-up stores. It's estimated to be about over 100 in number. So we have retailers selling inside here. These are the local stores. From here down to the other side, we're expecting to have somewhere from there also up there.
Timothy believes that Enugu residents need to be more positive about the efforts being made by the state government, which are ultimately for their long-term benefit.
I live here in Enugu most of the time. I do hear he's doing this, he's doing that, he's packing money for himself. I must tell you, a lot of things, if I tell you how much I've calculated, how much that is being spent, I must tell you that those money, those taxes, those little payments and all that, it's not entering into a personal purse. This project alone, okay, I was doing an estimate for this fencing. This fencing alone is costing over 70 million naira just for construction, for the fence. All right, so just talk about a concrete structure like this, right? So people of Enugu do less of appreciation. They are too emotional. That is another thing. They are too emotional. That is just what I want to say, and I would like them to always appreciate good things when they say it. Know how to judge without emotions. That's just it.
Recall that in May, the Commissioner for Transport, with reference to the Holy Ghost Terminal, revealed that the timeline for the project is about 12 months, pledging to have it ready by 2025. There also appears to be significant progress with the terminal in Nsukka. In follow-up and subsequent reports, we will provide more insights on other branches of the modern bus terminals. In Enugu, Nathalie Uku, reporting for Afia TV.
Thank you, Natalie, for that report. Looking forward to the other terminals to see the progress of work there. But we'll take a break here. When we return, we'll have a short break and then we'll have a discussion on a very important issue. We'll be talking sports in the discussion segment of the news today. Stay with us.
Welcome to the latest and most amazing show on here. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Lunch Break.
You don't sing along.
I did sing good. For real.
You're not a backup singer.
That's what they do for it.
You've often wondered, what does it mean to be Igbo in today's Nigeria? You know, what's the intersections, what are the conversations we're having about our Igbo spirituality, culture? An example is people wearing red cap. You know, everybody wears red cap. Are they entitled to wear it? What does Nzenoso mean? What does Igbo spirituality mean? How have we changed as a society over the last 20, 30, 50, 100 years? every Thursday, 6 p.m., if you want to know more on libations, as I have a conversation with different people from all walks of life who common thread is being Igbo, or doing business with the Igbo, or living in Igbo land. What does it mean to be Igbo in today's Nigeria? Cheers. And, oh, I need to do this. Let me pour to our ancestors.
Week and another opportunity for us to gist and me to tell you, bring all the spice, all the things that are hot, trending and exclusive on social media. Sometimes I know there's constructive criticism. I know that you know how to quote it. So for the people that don't understand, I want to be like, oh, why are you doing this?
Please, I'm not a cross-dresser. I'm only doing this because of the money on Facebook.
There are some people you need to just tell the truth brutally. Let it hurt them. Give it hot.
Afia TV official, exclusive every weekday on Afia TV.
Assalamu alaikum jama'a, sunana mai martaba Sarki Abubakar Yusuf Sambo. Ina kallon Afia TV kuma ina jaddada ma jama'an mu su dinga kallon Afia TV. Allah ya taimake su a aikin da suke na kyau. Inda ba yake ne mu no afambo His Royal Highness Sarki Abubakar Yusuf Sambo. An ma watch Afia TV na kwado kwandibu. Inda ba ni ne ka hana watch Afia TV. Afia TV na mo fino dalono.
You're welcome back. This is Afia TV's News Today discussion. And today we're taking a look at how violence is creeping into Nigerian football. We saw some ugly images last season. In fact, towards the end of last season in the NPFL, Enyimba Faba came here and created a scene right at the doorsteps of Rangers. But now we saw the pictures from Plateau, Jos particularly, where the Rangers International Football Club team, they were attacked by the Jos fans because Rangers secured a draw. I mean, one wonders. Rangers, by the way, lost a game to Kano Pillars recently, and there was no violence recorded. In fact, the Rangers fans were taking pictures with the Kano Pillars players. In fact, there was also time for Kano Pillars players to go show some love, to go pay tribute to the likes of, I think it was Emma Okala, who was at the state box. So that's the kind of scenes we want to see. But the teams who don't win tend to find themselves in a place where they are hurting the teams that have secured, unquote, the favorable result. I am joined this afternoon by CC Emechebe, sports anchor here at Afia TV and Radio. Thank you so much, CC. For joining me this afternoon. So, ugly scenes once again.
Yeah, ugly scenes. I mean, it's been, I won't really go as far as saying it's been a recurring theme because, first of all, I think let's look at the good news. The MPFL board has really done a fantastic job, coupled with the NRA, that's the Nigerian Referee Association of Nigeria, Nigerian Referee Association, I beg your pardon, in stemming the tide of these issues of violence that come up concerning the sports generally and football in particular. But so you could see actually over the last couple of seasons that the MPFL has reduced drastically in the issue of violence. It's not been as consistent as before. That's because a bit of order is being restored to the MPFL, being restored to the setting. There are penalties that are being brought in there. You know, remember they had the defunct league management company. That's right. Under there, and now it's the MPFL board being chaired by Binga. I'm trying to remember his name, Ogumbote, I beg your pardon. No, not Ogumbote, sorry. Then Elegbele.
That's
we have a lot of Bengas.
Benga Ogumbote is the coach.
Yes, Elegbele, and then of course the CEO himself, that is, Davis Onwumi. So you're looking at the fact that they are really clamping down on violence, and it's been almost like smooth sailing this season. But issues like this sometimes pop up, and then the peculiarity of this issue, the Flying Antelopes being attacked. What happened is that Plateau United, because of course they had a fourth goalless draw, they picked up a point against Plateau United there in Plateau State, and according to the reports from the Plateau United hierarchy, nothing happened, no violence ensued. They had their post-match interview, nothing really happened. So, and you know that the peculiarity of this case is such that when you have players that are there who are treated well, nothing is done to them, they are not being beaten up, they are not being harassed, they are not being intimidated in order to maybe draw the ire or the wrath of the authorities, then you can say that they've really done nothing wrong. But they claim that this incident, the so-called incident that is alleged to have happened around the 2 kilometers away from the stadium. So you're looking at I beg your pardon, that's Plateau United fans who are wearing jerseys, stoning the players, pelting them, vandalizing the bus, and then it then begs the question, how much of this incident, if properly investigated, because I expect the MPFL board to investigate it properly, how much of this is going to be attributed to the negligence of Plateau United? Because Plateau United are responsible for what happens with the state, about 2 kilometers away from there. It now becomes an issue that's beyond the Plateau United hierarchy, but the Plateau State government. So we frown at, it's really been a little bit complicated, but we frown at violence because violence never ends well in football. We saw cases like that. You mentioned the issue of Enugu Rangers and Eimba in the Oriental Derby last season.
That's right.
Ugly scenes, even though not too much happened, no bloodletting was there, thank God for that, but still ugly scenes, hooliganism was at the rise, they're showing itself, but thank God nothing happened. And then there's that narrative of violence being peculiar to certain regions in the country. So, I mean, when you mention things like what happened in Enugu, at the cathedral last season, that would be an exception to the rule based on the narrative that's being created. But proper investigation is going to be carried out. We are not here to fix blame, but to fix the problem. There is a problem of violence. It's not as bad as some parts of the world. Like I, as a sports analyst and anchor for a good number of years, sometimes I have to go back down the memory lane and then even go outside of Nigeria and then see things that have happened. Like I remember vividly, on the day when the Brazilians, the Seleção, were celebrating their triumph in the Confederations Cup, that was in 2013, 30th of June, if I remember very well. They were celebrating their 3-0 win over Spain, the defending champions of the World Cup. Something ugly was happening about a kilometer away from there, from the stadium there in Brazil, in the northern part of Brazil. A referee, I can't remember his name, Otavio something, I can't remember. He was refereeing a game, a lower league game, and he sent off a player in the process. And then that player refused to leave, the captain of the team. And then the player threw punches at him. He had to stab the player. Now that's what happened there. He stabbed the player, and then the player was rushed to the hospital, and he died on the way. Now this is really gruesome. But what happened is that
the referee had a knife.
The referee had a knife. The referee had a knife there, but it didn't end that way. The referee was ambushed by the family and friends of this man, and he was decapitated, beheaded on the pitch. He was quartered, dismembered on the pitch.
Wow.
Now, these are scenes of violence. I'm not saying that we'll ever get there or even get close to that point. But I'm just trying to point out that violence is something that's like a recurring theme in different parts of the world of sports, particularly football. It should not be so. But it is so, which means it needs to be nipped in the bud. So concerning this issue of Plateau United allegedly assaulting Enugu Rangers, because first of all, these are their fans.
Yeah.
Their fans did this. And if the fans could do that, then they have to investigate properly and ban the fans, punish them accordingly.
Yeah, Rangers management, they've issued a statement, of course, and we hope. One thing I like is that the way Rangers handles this, they didn't come on their pages and start, saying a lot. They just issued a very controlled statement and say they've issued that's the statement out there, that they've written to the appropriate quarters on. And they will handle this. So instead of coming on your page and start providing the judgment there. I think they will let the league management, the MPFL, take care of this. I think the topic will now change to global sports update, global football update. So we can talk about our own Victor Osimhen, who's been on fire. Just help me change. It's now changed to global football update. Yes, that's it there. Victor Osimhen, he won't stop scoring. Do you think that at this point, that Napoli will really know that they messed up?
Well, it's one thing for Napoli to know that they've messed up. It's another thing for them to admit that they've messed up. And they have the comfort of being at the top of the Italian Serie A right now. At least for now, after I think about 11 match days, they're on top of the Italian Serie A. So they would say, you know, Osimhen is just one player. He's going to have Lukaku. He's been scoring the goals. But you can never underestimate the effect that a Victor Osimhen brings to any side. His club side, his national side. He's energetic. He's the typical centre forward, bullish. He finds spaces. He not only scores goals, he also finds himself within the final third, troubling defenses, drawing away defenders, and then creating space for his teammates. So he's somebody with that kind of skill set that makes him invaluable to any team. What happened in Napoli was, because technically he's still a Napoli player. He's on loan to Galatasaray. But what happened in Napoli is simply a case of spite. We all know about that story, how they decided to just cut off their nose to spite their face. He wanted to leave. They had a gentleman's agreement, and then they just decided, for reasons best known to them, that is Aurelio De Laurentiis, the owner, the CEO of Napoli, for reasons best known to him and the hierarchy, decided to just frustrate the young man, scuttle his move. There were different moves that were on board. For instance, a move to PSG, that fell through. A move to Saudi Arabia, that fell through. A prospective move to Chelsea, that also fell through, because they decided to just make sure that things did not work out well. But Osimhen is, when you have a player who knows his ability and is happy,
absolutely,
he will deliver the goods, and that's what Victor is doing now.
Ijaya Olusosun, that's what they call him. We'll have barely a minute or two to go now, but we'll have to talk about the Premiership. I don't know who you support. Is it Chelsea? Apart from supporting Rangers, or do you support Chelsea?
For professional reasons,
is it, you won't say. You will not say.
Neither confirm nor deny who I support. But what I can say, the only hint I can give is I'm a big Mikel Arteta fan.
Okay, I guess that my tie has given me away. Yeah. So yesterday it ended a goal apiece from West London. That's at the Stamford Bridge there. I mean, was that a match Arsenal could have won, or was that a match Chelsea could have lost?
I think a combination of both, because Chelsea, let's first of all, getting into that game, it was a cracking game, very interesting game, by the way, a derby between two of Pep Guardiola's pupils and proteges, having Enzo Maresca, who has really done quite well thus far in the English Premier League, in Chelsea, his first stint there. And then you have Mikel Arteta, who, everybody knows what Arteta brings to the table, and he's been doing that with Arsenal Football Club. So that London derby set up a lot to be asked for. And you could see that it was a case of 3 points, or rather 2 points lost from an Arsenal perspective, and for me also 2 points lost from a Chelsea perspective. Absolutely. It was there for the grabbing. You could see that, I think just before the final whistle, Kai Havertz, of all people, had a big opportunity. He had already buried he had already found the back of the net. He was ruled out for offside earlier in the game, drawing the eye of the Chelsea fans. But he was in a position at the last kick of the game to convert that goal, which would have broken the hearts of Chelsea faithful. But Leandro Trossard was just in the way to intercept that. So miscommunication. But at the end of the day, no victor, no vanquished. Both teams ended up in the top four. So
that's right.
As it stands, it was a very, very interesting.
Chelsea are third on the log. I say it properly, Sisi.
They are.
Chelsea are third on the log.
I don't have a problem saying that. Yeah. Chelsea are third on the log.
I don't know whether you have a lump on your throat in saying it. Chelsea are now third on the log.
They are third on the log. I know your allegiance. I know that. But really, truth be told, Chelsea Football Club. I've been saying this before. Everybody who cares to listen. Yes, Chelsea have really struggled. It's a transition period after the Roman Abramovich era.
That's right.
Moved on and all that, and then so many problems, issues with Todd Boehly and the Clear Lake Consortium trying to settle in and then manage the Chelsea. But they have settled in well. Enzo Maresca is the man for the job. I think they'll do quite well this season.
That would be a good place to leave it. Thank you so much, Sisi the Rabbi,
My pleasure.
for coming in on the discussion segment of the news today.
Thank you.
I appreciate this. We'll do it more often, I promise you.
Definitely.
And to end the news, here is a recap of our top stories. The special advisor to the Enugu State Governor on Health has charged nursing students to be focused and committed to studies. In Abuja, the NLC has given state governments December 1 to implement the new national minimum wage. On business news, we told you that the NDIC has commenced a national auction of assets belonging to the defunct Heritage Bank. On the foreign scene, you heard that former President Trump, who is now the president-elect of the US, and Scholz of Germany have agreed to work for a return to peace in Europe. Thank you for staying with us on the news today. Do follow us on all our social media platforms on Afia TV Official. My name is Alex Obodo. Good afternoon.
Assalamu alaikum jama'a, sunana mai martaba Sarki Abubakar Yusuf